Welcome back to the semi-final of the Plate Cup in the World Championships. But a few technical issues, and we may have some more, but we'll find out. The voice wasn't really working, but it is now. Opening the batting today is David Cox and Dan Bailey. Travis Ling dropped himself down the order, probably the first drop. Cox facing down leg side, hits it off his hip just for a single. So the Greenhills Giants off 1.2 overs, none for 12. Daniel Bailey 7 off 4. Marty Blenman's the actual other opener, 5 off 3. Bowler moving into Dan Bailey. Good ball just outside off stump, beats Bailey. It's a dot ball. We're in the knockout stages of the World Championships. Greenhills Giants qualified for the plate finals. So whoever wins today will be going through, whoever loses they'll be out. Just on the pads again. Dan Bailey takes it on the hip, and it's gone for 4. It's flicked it away down fine leg. Nice shot by Bailey. It's into the second over. Greenhills Giants none for 17 off 2. Daniel Bailey 11 off 6. Marty Blenman 5 off 4. Another warm day here on the Gold Coast. A little bit of cloud cover, but it's not giving you much breeze. Very warm. New bowler, Nair, coming from this end, none for 7 off his first over. Into Blenman. Blenman leans forward, just pushes it out to short cover, no run. Westfield from the United States, playing the Greenhills Giants. Moves in, bowls again, gets a good ball, pushes it down to third man, just for the single again. Westfield have a long on and long off. Someone out square of the wicket on the boundary. Fine leg. Short cover, short third man, and the keeper. They're trying to put a little bit of pressure on the Greenhills Giants by keeping a couple of players in closer. Bailey to receive this ball. Flicks it off his pads, just down for a single. Greenhills Giants will be looking to put on a score today. They'll know the Westfield team can chase some runs. They don't want to be leaving themselves short. Yeah, the bowler moves in again. Blenman forward. Good ball. Just chops it into the onside for a single. Down to short fine leg. I'd like to thank Yenar Beer, sponsors for the World Championships here on the Gold Coast. Beer you have when you're not having a beer. 0% alcohol beer, yeah, nah. Bowler moves in. Dan Bailey just pushes it back to the bowler. Another good ball, another dot. One of the problems that the Greenhills Giants have had over the last couple of days is sometimes just not dispatching the ball for even a single. They need to keep turning the strike over, and it's always a way to move your score along in a game. End of the over. Greenhills Giants none for 20 off 3. Travelling at about 7 runs an over. That's a good start with wickets in hand. You can't afford to lose wickets early, so this is a good start. They'll be happy with that, and they'll be hoping that these two openers get their eyes in quick and can start dispatching the ball. It's a very quick outfield once again here at One Away Bay on the second field here today, but both fields have got a lot of run. Ball travels very quickly. Fieldsmen will need to be alert and on their toes. New bowler, another Nair, none for 9 off 2 overs. Moves in for his first ball. Pushed out into the offside. They're looking at 2. It's a good bit of run, but fielded down at third man. Fieldsman returns the ball, good arm, bowling back to the keeper. So this is Burnham bowling, number for 11 off 1.1. He'll be trying to keep the ball tight, trying to restrict the Greenhills Giants from unleashing, freeing their arms. Lemon facing, and the bowler lost his run up, so it's a dead ball. Bowler probably just overstepped his mark and realised late, decided to pull up. Back to his mark now, moving in. Blenheim just on the front foot, pushes it out on the onside for a single. Bowler was trying to get there and make that into a run-out opportunity. Both batsmen agile on their toes, got away for the single. Dan Bailey 11 off 8, Marty Blenman 10 off 9. Dan Bailey to face, gets it on the leg side, gets it away, square the wicket, 4 runs. That'll encourage Dan. He knows it's a quick outfield. If he can just pierce the field, not put it straight to fieldsmen. The problem they had yesterday was they were hitting the ball quite well at times, but they were hitting it directly to fieldsmen. Today, they're going to try and adjust that and hopefully hit between fieldsmen. That way, it'll also give them the opportunity to run too. Hit it straight to a fieldsman here, they're moving in quick, it'll only be a single. So try and get between the 2 fieldsmen. If it gets through, it'll be 4. If it doesn't, hard to cut off. It'll be an easy run too. Bowler comes in. Dan Bailey goes down, tries to cut it, misses. Good ball. Short cover here is doing a lot of work early on, running around in the field, encouraging his teammates. Moves back out now to deep cover. Dan Bailey forward, chops it out, good length delivery, chops it out, goes down to fine leg for a single. So Dan Bailey's already moving the field around here. Deep extra cover has moved right out the fence. That's the end of the over. Burnham, none for 17 off 2. Greenhills Giants, 4 for 28, and none for 28 off 4 overs. Still sitting at about the 7 run and over. The Giants, I'm pretty sure they'll be looking at hopefully getting up to the 10 and over, which will get them up into the high 170s, 200. Dan Bailey 16 off 11, Marty Blenman 10 off 9. Projected score at the moment is only 140, but it's early days. And the bowlers will be starting to tie here, but that'll be both sets of bowlers. Nair moves into bowl another over. Nice ball, pushed out on the offside, down to long off just for the single. A little bit of cloud cover coming over here, but it shouldn't affect the day's play. I think there's slight rain forecast for later in the afternoon, but should not affect the games today. Blenman on strike. Nair moves in. Another good ball and just punched back with a square. Down towards third man boundary. Has it got the run? This field is very quick, lightning quick. And it has. It's got the 4 runs. 4 runs to Marty Blenman. Beautiful shot. Back cut it. Just down through point and third man. The deep third man was fine, didn't have a chance. Now I want to try and adjust his line here. Blenman on strike. Oh, that's a wide down leg side. Blenman tried to just flick it off his pads. It was wide enough that once it was beat the batsman, it was a wide. Nair over adjusted there. You need to fix that quick. Nair moves in. That was a better ball. He has adjusted his line. Up, pitched up well on off stump. All Blenman could do was dig it out. Dot ball. A few technical issues at the start of the innings, we're sorry, but we've hopefully fixed those for now. Lemon just chops it down. Looks like the openers are just trying to build a start and hopefully be able to unleash the middle order with the return of Luke Thomas, the power hitter. That'll be very handy. We've also got some power hitting with Varley and Diplock, and also Travis Ling can unleash at times. David Cox, normally an opener. I believe today he'll be trying to anchor the innings if he does get in early. If not, he can also unleash at times too. Dan Bailey, good ball, stayed low. They're the wicket taking balls. Sometimes just on off stump, stays low. But no result for the bowler this time. The batsman will be happy. Nair, none for 16 off 3. Greenhills Giants, none for 35 off 5 overs. Dan Bailey, 17 off 13. Marty Blenman, 16 off 13. Projected score still around the 140 mark. Batsman had a chat in the middle of the wicket, deciding what they're going to do. They maybe had a chat and that one can unleash and get going. Another one just hold one end up. But we'll see over the next couple of overs. Bit of breeze now here too also at Runaway Bay number 2. I think their fielders will be appreciating that. And even the batsmen will be appreciating. It's been very humid over the last couple of days after the rain, but today with this wind, it's not as oppressive. New ball looks like Joshua held Arscard. Bowling his first over of the day. Looks like a right arm. No, he's a left arm off spinner. Good ball first up. Dot ball. Tighten the batsman up. It'll be interesting to see if the ball's going to come on. It's a little bit slower, a little bit of turn. Flight in the air. If there's any movement in the air, it'll have the batsman in 2 minds. Moves in again, the bowler. Blenman gets inside it. Is it deep enough? No, just short of the fieldsman. Only a single. Hit it quite well. But as we've said, these are very big ovals here at Runaway Bay, both ovals. And also at Musbury Bar Nerang, very big ovals there too. Dan Bailey on strike. It's a ball, good ball, pitched up on outside off stump, just pushes into the covers. Are they going to think of the 2? Yes, they're going to think of the 2. Marty Blenman's putting them in and put it in well. Safe. Excellent running by Marty Blenman. Good call by the batsman who struck the ball, Dan Bailey. Called him back. Marty Blenman responded and got 2. Greenhills Giants currently none for 38 off 5.3 overs. Would still like to get that scoring rate moving up a little bit faster. Another good ball. Just short of a length outside off stump. He's trying to stop the batsman from getting inside him, pulling him over the mid-wicket boundary, which is one of Dan Bailey's favourite shots. Marty Blenman, he can also go big. Blenman on strike. Bowler releases a little bit flatter. He's just got the 1 at the moment. Not investing the 2. Just a single down to mid-on. So that's the end of the over. Nair, none for 16 off 3. Burnham, none for 17 off 2, I believe. Greenhills Giants, none for 40 off 6 overs. Dan Bailey, 20 off 15. Marty Blenman, 18 off 16. Bowler taking his time to come in. Batsmen will be appreciating this little bit of a break. Get a little bit of air into their lungs. Bowlers a practice bowl. That'll also give them an extra few seconds. And those few seconds for the batsman can be very handy. Nav Sharma, the new bowler. Moved his mid off around straighter. Marty Blendman gets hold of that. That's a boom, B-O-O-M, booming 6. Great shot by Blendman. Dan Bailey would appreciate that. He can stay up his end. Watch Marty go. He picked that up early, rocked back on the back foot, and just smashed it over mid-wicket. Transfer of weight onto his back foot and then forward again. Gave him all the impetus to be able to get that well over the boundary. Greenhills Giants captain Travis Ling will be happy with this. He'll be hoping that Blenheim starts in the middle of the bat all the time. Marty steps across, looks square, it's in the air. But it's been dropped to 6 more runs. I'm sure the boundary rider wasn't right on the fence. Because of that, he had to put his hands up in the air, went straight through. 6 more runs. 2 sixes in a row. That's excellent batting from Marty Blendman. Greenhills Giants have moved on to 52 off 6.2 overs. Dan Bailey 20 off 15. Marty Blendman 30 off 18. Blendman against, walking across his stumps. Goes out towards mid-wicket again. And this one will be 4. It's 6. It's actually gone over, just made over the boundary. So Blendman looks like he's hit 3 sixes in a row now. The first one was a booming 6 over mid-wicket. Pulled the ball square next, hooked it. Just made it, almost got caught, and then got one over mid-wicket, only just. But it went over the fence, that's another 6. That's 18 runs off 3 balls. The bowler will be very unhappy with this. The captain would be talking to him, telling him he's got to adjust his line. I think you'll find he'll probably pull this one down a little bit faster. A lot of the slower bowlers, once they've tapped for a couple of boundaries, they tend to quicken up. Is Blendman aware of this, or is he going to go across his stumps again? Goes right across his stumps. Picks it off. Got it again. Looks like it's gone 4 runs. This is a great over for the Greenhills Giants. The following batsmen in the stands, they'll be happy with this. It'll allow them to release their hands when they come up and they can get straight into it. They'll be really appreciating this. This is excellent batting. Bowler doesn't know what to do now. Blendman's moving all over the crease, and that's putting the bowler in 2 minds. Blendman again gets a full toss. That's going to be a no ball, and that's going to be a free hit. The last thing you want to do to a batsman in this sort of form is give him a free hit, and the bowler's given a free hit. I don't think he'll get another over after this, but that's up to their captain, not me. Now Blendman, can he get his timing? Goes wide again, gets onto it. It's going to be 4 or 6. 4 runs. So this over, that's the end of the over. The bowler will not be happy with that. None for 27 off 1. Bowler got taken apart there, and they're the sort of overs that can really set a team up to make a charge. Greenhills Giants, 7 overs, number 67. They've moved their strike rate up now to about 10 runs an over. That's excellent stuff. Marty Blendman doing a lot of the damage. He's gone into Luke Thomas beast mode, 45 off 22. Dan Bailey, 20 off 15. Projected scoreline suddenly went from the 140s up to 190. This is good stuff by the Greenhills Giants. Dan Bailey on strike. He'll be hoping to pull some of these things off too. But while you've got a batsman going so well like Marty Blendman, I'd be feeding him the strike, and hopefully he can keep it in the middle of the bat. Dan Bailey waits, sees it, just outside off stump. There was possibly a drop catch there, the way the bowler's hands went to his head. I think Dan might got a slight touch on that. Keeper's dropped it. Catches win matches, and Westfield at the moment are struggling with their fielding. Ball just pushed into the offside. Fieldsman's there, held a guard, be happy with his bowling, but the release of that pressure from that last over has really given the Greenhills Giants a bit of a leg up. Bowler moves in. Dan Bailey just rocks back, chops it down for a single, and that's what he's done. He's feeding Marty Blendman the strike. Marty's one of those players that when he's in form and he's hitting the ball that well, doesn't matter who's bowling, how fast they're bowling, how slow they're bowling, if there's turn, if there's swing, he just keeps his eyes on the ball, keeps his head steady and dispatches the ball. Oh, and short over middle stump. Blenman just trying to run that down to third man, but keeper misses it and it goes down fine for just a single. One bye called. One ball less in this held Dascard over. None for 6 off 1.4 is quite good bowling. Dan Bailey sees that one, gets a half volley, pushes out through mid-wicket along the ground for 4 runs. Good batting by Dan Bailey. Finally seen one he liked. He liked it and he liked to hit it, and he did. Greenhills Giants after 8 overs, none for 73. Dan Bailey, 25 off 19. Marty Blenman, 45 off 23. So both overs now going along on a good clip. And that'll encourage your batsmen yet to come in. No wickets down. That's one of the secrets here. Don't give early wickets away and you can unleash. And that's exactly what the Greenhills Giants have done. They've not only retained all their wickets, but they're also putting on a bit of a show here. Fielders have all been moved out a bit deeper now. Only got one man in close on the leg side. Looks like they're pushing point out. No, he's only going half to 3/4 of the way out to the boundary, trying to cut off one and hopefully nothing gets past him. He's the only man in short now. Oh, Marty going too hard. Umpire doesn't want nothing to do with that. I think he'd be saying that it was just short of a length and it was probably hitting him too high and possibly a little bit down leg side. Devanini by the next looks of it. Devanini in the bowl. Blenman steps across, waits, outside off stump, beats him. Did too much there. Blenman was hoping for one on the stumps that he could pull away on the leg side again. Devanini not giving him that opportunity. Marty won't stop moving around on the crease, so he'll try and put the bowlers off. Waits out towards deep mid-wicket. The deep mid-wicket first one didn't quite pick that up, so it's going to go for 4 runs. Didn't have far to run, but he's hit it well, and the first one didn't pick it up early. And that'll be another 4 to Marty Blenman. Now 49 off 26. One more run and he'll have to retire, which will bring the new Greenhills Giants batsman in. He'll be hoping for a boundary actually, Marty. I know a single will get him to 50, but he'll be hoping for a big 6 or 4. But if it's a good ball, I'm sure he'll just push it away for the single, knowing that he can come back in if they lose all their wickets. He's gone for it again, and that's big, that's high, that's hard, that's over the boundary. And dispatched well and truly over the boundary there. Marty Blenman moves on to 55 not out. Has to retire now. Excellent innings. He's finally hit his form, Blenman. That's excellent. 55 off 27 deliveries. He's put a lot of pressure onto the Westfield team. Dan Bailey, 25 off 19. He was happy to play the anchor role and just watch the party going on out in the middle. Greenhills Giants travelling quite well. 8.5 overs, none for 83. They're keeping up that 10 and over now, which is what they'll want. Earlier on they were down 6s and 7 and over, but that just set them up for this. And there could be an onslaught here if the batsmen can continue it on. They've got back up now in Marty Blenman, back in the stands, but if they lose all the first 6 wickets, Blenman will be allowed to come back in. Luke Thomas, one of the biggest hitters I've ever seen. They don't want to bowl nothing bad to him because he can put it away. But he needs a couple of balls to get in, I think. Gets the first ball and just chops it out. Just pitched up. Moves it down to mid-on. Just gets a single, the bowler goes back and fields off his own bowling. Luke Thomas not out 1 off 1. Daniel Bailey 25 not out off 19. Marty Blenman retired, 55 off 27. He's really set this innings up. Looks like Joshua Held-Discard is going to maintain bowling. They'll be hoping that with his economy rate going so short with his economy rate of none for 10 off 2 overs, they'll be hoping he can put a bit of pressure on the batsmen and hope that they'll go too hard and sky the ball. Greenhill Giants will be hoping for the other. He pulls a couple short. Thomas on strike, gets a good ball. Short of a length, up into his ribs, pulls it down, fine, but doesn't go far. Keeper goes across and fields it. It's a dot ball. Luke's got a great eye-hand coordination. Once he gets going, you can hit big, but he's got to get going, and they don't want to throw a wicket away too early now. Sees it. Inside edge, out to mid-wicket. Bowler goes out, fields it off his own bowling. Daniel Bailey on strike, 25 off 19. He might decide it's his time to go now. They don't want to throw a couple of wickets away. They'll be having to get bat and ball, especially the middle of the bat. Bowler moves in. Daniel Bailey, he's bowling well. Pitched up, Yorker length on the legs. Down to fine leg. 2 boys, I believe that'll be. I don't think he got any bat on that. No, he did get bat on that. Umpire hasn't signalled boys, so he must have got a piece of bat on that. Dan Bailey on strike once again. He's bowling quite well, Dan. Straight back to the bowler, between his legs, nutmegged him. Goes down to long off. It's just a single. Well, they're trying to see Held-Discard off. He's only got 1 over after this to bowl, and he's bowling quite well. Luke Thomas on strike. Just pushes it into the offside. Good fielding by the cover fieldsman. The batsman had it covered in the run. Luke Thomas moves on to 3 from 4 balls. Daniel Bailey, 28 off 21 rocks. Projected score, current run rate 178. 6 and over, 149. 8 and over, 169. 10 and over, 189. And I'm pretty sure that the Greenhills Giants will be looking at that 189 score line. As long as they can keep wickets in hand, if these two get going, it's not an unthought of score. Held-Discard, none for 15 off 3, has bowled really well, and he's slightly kept Westfield in this. Greenhills Giants, 10 overs, none for 89. If they don't have another couple of bowlers that can bowl like Held-Discard though, they may regret this. Change of ends at the 10 over mark. Daniel Bailey up the bowler's end. Luke Thomas on strike. Luke will be hoping to get a couple out of the middle. I'm sure the crowd would like to see a couple out of the middle from Luke Thomas. But he can only play his ball as it comes. And that's how he does it. That's how he plays it. He's just got a great eye. Great eye-hand coordination and great power hitting. Bowler Davini. Luke Thomas sees it, straight to the fieldsman, but just short of him. He's hit it powerfully, but waist height, dropped 2 metres in front of the fieldsman. And I just get the single. Giants will be looking to get to that 100 mark as quick as they possibly can. Bowler moves in. That's a better ball. And that's a dot ball. So these bowlers might have been learning from the previous bowler. You've got to put them right up there, put them under a bit of pressure. Dan Bailey will normally go across the line. And he can't when the ball's hit there. That's a good drive out to cover, but he's hit it too well. The fieldsman's out there. They'll only get the single. So, although the Greenhills Giants have got off to a great start, Westfield, the last over and a half, trying to get themselves back in the game, and they're starting to tighten the bowling up, and the fielding's been quite good. Bowler moves in to Luke Thomas. Tomo comes down, pushes it back past the bowler for a single. No, that's how well he's hit it. He's hit it straight past the bowler. Mid-off couldn't get around. He only had to move 10 feet and didn't have enough time to get around to it. He hits it that strong. It's the first boundary to Luke Thomas. And he'll be having that sets him up to start hitting a couple out of the middle. Greenhills Giants up to 10.4 overs. None for 95. Plenty of space in the outfield here too, but I don't think Westfield are too worried about them running ones and twos. They're just trying to slow the boundaries at the moment. At one stage there, they had no control over the boundaries. Devanimi comes into bowl, last ball of this over. And Luke Thomas advances down, hits it down to long on. Didn't quite get out of that, so they'll just take the single. Puts Luke on strike for the next over. He'll be happy about that. Daniel Bailey, 29 off 23. Luke Thomas, 9 off 7. Greenhills Giants after 11 overs, none for 96. So they've set them up. They've set themselves a great platform here. That if these two batsmen can start unleashing, with some of the power they've got in the stands, it could be very, very handy. And this score could become astronomical. But at the moment, they'll be looking at the 150, 160 minimum. Predicted score is still up around the 180 mark. So they'd love that. Looks like Joshua Hell's guard to bowl out, none 15 off 3. Very economical, very good bowling. He's found the right line and length to the Greenhills Giants batsman. Not many other bowlers have done anything. I'm sure they're trying, but they just need to be dragging the ball down way too short, putting them in the wrong spot. Just in the field, waiting for the fields made out at mid-wicket. Luke Thomas gets a full ball outside off stump. All he can do is dig it out, back to the bowler. Luke Thomas awaits the ball, sees it. It's a good ball, just pushes it into the offside. So this could still be smart batting by Greenhills Giants. Helscardi is the one that's given him a little bit of trouble. See him out and see if the next change bowlers have got anything at all, and just hope that they don't. We don't know what's going to happen here. Dan Bailey, yep, good ball. Great ball by Helscardi. Now moving to 1 for 16. Dan Bailey, 29 off 23, caught behind. Good catch by the keeper. Luke Thomas, 10 off 9. Greenhills Giants after 11.3 overs, 1 for 97. And we're just saying that Helscardi is the one that they've got to try and see off. Try not lose wickets, and then they can unleash. He's hitting a good line, he's hitting a good length. He's been the bowler of the day at the moment here in this innings. Projected score has dropped down to about 165. And I'll be happy to see the back of the first Greenhills Giant to lose their wicket. They've still got Marty Blenman, who was 55 not out, waiting to come back in if it gets through too many wickets. And looks like Jesse Varley's been sent out by the captain. Jesse got a 50 not out yesterday, was hitting the ball well. I think he got 50 odd not out off about 21 or 27 balls, not sure which, but he did it quite quickly. The right-handers are heading into the wind here, but that won't worry Varley too much. He does like the mid-wicket and the mid-on and mid-off areas. It'll assist over mid-off, slightly over mid-on, but it won't assist him at all over mid-wicket. He'll be hitting to the teeth of the breeze. Helscardi moves in. Varley just blocks it. That's it. That sees him off. That sees Helscardi 1 for 16 off 4 overs. So he's been. Oh, he's still got one ball to go. Sorry. Moves in. Varley digs it out. Dot ball. They won't worry Varley too much. Helscardi's the one that's been taking the wickets and also been restricting them. His economy rate was quite good off 4 overs, 1 for 16. So he's only getting tapped at 4 and over, which is very good. The one loose over they did have, the Westfield team, it got totally massacred by Blenman, and that's going to create a little bit of caution in them that they can't afford too much. I don't think he'll be bowling again, but we don't know. Greenhills Giants, after 12 overs, a 1 for 97. So they've still got 8 overs to go, plenty of batsmen in the sheds. It's just, they'll be hoping that they just don't throw their wickets away. If there's a wicket taken, they don't want to be bowled or caught in close. They want it caught on the fence at best, and that way at least put a little bit of pressure on the outfield. New bowler moves in just short of a length outside off, pushed away. Oh, deep mid on, two straight, and that's going to be 4 runs. So I think Luke Thomas and Dan Bailey will now know, with what they've got in the sheds, they can start putting a little bit of pressure on and start trying to get bat to ball, especially the middle of the bat, and build this score up. Louis S looks like the bowler, the new bowler. Oh, that's an outside edge down to deep third man. He's bowling a little bit short, but got away with that one. He won't want to give too many like that to Jesse Varley. If Jesse gets his eye in, he won't mind them at all. Bowler comes in, Varley just digs it out into the onside for 1. Varley, as we've spoken about over the last couple of games, he's a bit of a greyhound when he runs, so they'll need to be aware that Varley will actually try and take 2. He'll turn 1s into 2s, 2s into 3s. I've even seen him turn a 3 into a 4. Bowler moves in to Thomas. Slow ball, spaced out to mid-off. Looking for 2, but not there, only a single. So Louis S is trying to make up for that poor start to the over. Just in his field again, moving his deep cover around and bringing him in. If he keeps bowling too wide and he brings in that cover, Varley will actually push it through cover. Gets a good ball and actually yorks him and bowls him. Great ball. Jesse Varley departs for a duck. Won't be happy with that. After the great batting display yesterday, he'll be sorely disappointed. Good bowling by Louis S. 1 for 7, now off 1. Greenhills Giants after 13, 2 for 104. So they're starting to slow down. That'll be concerning the captain, Travis Ling. He would like them to keep going at a good clip. But losing 2 wickets will slow them down slightly. Still got plenty of wickets and some power hitting in the sheds. They just don't want to throw a few wickets away at the same time. Luke Thomas, 16 off 12. Hasn't quite got going yet. David Cox, the new batsman. He'll be hoping to feed Luke Thomas to strike if Luke can start going. But David Cox also has some big shots. Pulls the ball well, and he also cuts the ball quite well. So if they don't bowl at the stumps, he's got a couple options. Also hooks the ball back down the ground quite well too. Sharma, 1 for 27 off 1. This is a danger. This is the man that got tapped really bad in his 1 over so far. And Luke Thomas on strike. He'll need to have a miss it. Oh, and Thomas pushes it down to mid-on. Still hits it quite well. First minute long on, pushes the ball to the first minute long off by diving, stops it. Only get 2. The Giants won't be unhappy with that with Luke Thomas on strike. Luke sees it outside, just pushes it down to deep mid-off. They're going to look for 2 here. They should do it easy. They will. Deep mid-off. Had to swing round. Probably had to run 30 metres to get to the ball. They've got no one in close now. All the fieldsmen on the fence. Luke Thomas, ball is that down to long on, just not finding the gaps. Normally he can. Actually, he'll normally go over those gaps, go over long and hard. Brings David Cox on strike. New batsmen have been struggling for some reason. Cox taking centre. Projected scores now being dropped down to 160. So a little bit of good bowling in the last couple of overs has made an impact on this game. Short of a length again. Sharma gets away with it there. A much more productive over from him. He'll be a lot happier than that first over. Just outside off stump. Cox pushes it out to deep cover. Just a single. Sharma will be happy. Only about 6 off the over. He now has none for 33 off 2. Luke Thomas is on 21 off 15. Projected score, if it's at the current run rate, it's going to be about 157. If they can get up to 10 and over again, they'll be looking at that 170. And I'm saying they'd love to get the 170, 180 mark if they can. Cox on strike to Louis S. We could take it from his previous over. Looks like it's a slow medium bowler. Pitches up outside off stump. Cox pushes it out to deep cover for a single. Unfortunately, that was straight to the fieldsman. A lot of area out there, yet he tended to just pick out the fieldsman. He'll adjust that. Luke Thomas on strike. It's once again just short of a length. Pushes it out to deep mid-off. You won't be happy with this, Luke. He likes the ball coming onto the bat. He'd probably appreciate a faster bowler, but it seems to be working, and Westfield will pick up on that. Cox on strike. Louis S. into bowl. Oh, short. Pulls it away, but there's 2 fieldsmen out there. Pulls it square of the wicket just for a single. Didn't quite get out of it. And for right-handers now, it is hitting into the wind, so they're going to be very careful. If they go high and hard, they're going to have to hit it really well. And if they hit along the ground, they're still going to have to run because the ball is slowing up down due to that wind coming from the left-hand side of the field. Louis S. in to Luke Thomas. Thomas swings too hard, too fast, bowled, middle stump. This is a great response from the Westfield team. Louis S. now has 2 for 10 off 1.4 overs. The bowler's getting back into the game. The field, with that wind, is holding the ball up, and I believe the batsman would probably try and hit it too hard. Luke Thomas went after that, and he went after it way too hard, but it was a good length delivery, and yorked him and took middle stump. David Cox 3 off 4. Greenhills Giants 3 for 113 off 14.4. Westfield have really reeled in the damage that had been done early. Also, Travis Ling, the captain, is the new batsman. He's been in good form. He just hasn't been getting the runs that he's required. He'll need to get his head down for a couple of balls. And even Cox are the normal openers for the Greenhills Giants. They open in LMS up in the Newcastle area. They put on some good stands together. It'll be interesting to see how they'll bat together, coming in the middle order and batting together. Louis S. has been hitting a good line, good length. He's been pulling some down short, and then he flicks one right up, Yorker length, and the batsmen will lighten their eyes up and going, yep, I can put this away, and they don't. They try too hard, miss the ball, and he's not missing the stumps when they're on the wicket. Another good ball just outside off stump. Ling dispatches it out towards point. They've got 1, they're going to run 2. So Travis Ling starts his innings with 2 runs off 1 ball. David Cox 3 off 4. Greenhills Giants going along okay at the moment. 15 overs, 115 for 3. Luke Thomas 22 off 17. Marty Blemmer 55 off 27. He was a destroyer early on, and the Giants were hoping that the middle order, who can hit as well, would keep up that, but hitting into the wind, it slowed them down a little bit, as it should. Both teams will find that this end of the field where we're bowling from now, it's going to be a lot harder to hit boundaries compared to when it was at the other end and they were hitting with the wind. They can still hit straight, and that won't hurt them too much. It's just when they go around to mid-wicket area and hook, the ball's going to be held up a little bit. Oh, and that's a good ball. Sharma. He's corrected things from his first over where he got absolutely hammered. This time, at the moment, he's got number 33 off 2.1 overs. And that's going to be close. Umpire wants nothing to do with it. Believes it's down leg side. Cox not too concerned, but sometimes they can be given out, and he wouldn't have been happy. Sharma moves in again. Just pushed out to cover. They're only going to get the single there. Bit of a misfield, but it's not going to affect them. Travis Ling on strike. Travis will hate to be getting his eye in early. Sharma just short of a length on off stump. Pushed out to extra cover again. Just a single. Better fielding this time by that fieldsman out there at extra cover. So Westfield have got themselves back into this game with some good tight bowling. Cox sees it. All he can do is push it out to extra cover again. Man, extra cover's been getting a lot of work. That's the end of the over. Sharma has certainly improved. None for 36 off 3 now. And Louis has to resume, and he's got 2 for 12 off 2. So he's a danger. They'll be thinking about that. After 16 overs, Greenhills Giants 3 for 118. They've been really reeled back in, and they won't like that. They thought they were setting themselves up for 150 plus. To do that now, they're going to start having to middle it. Cox on strike. Sees it, likes it. There's a mid-wicket out there, but it's going to be short of him. They're only going to run the single. And that's all there's, single. Travis Ling will probably be hoping for something short, wide outside off stump so he can cut. There's a gap there. Lots of gaps behind the wicketkeeper also if you can get something on fine leg. Cuts it square. Third man moves around. Only the single. So this is a massive change for what was happening. Greenhills Giants look like taking this away from the Westfield team, but Westfield is starting to reel them back in, giving themselves a tail that they can actually chase. Louis S coming around the wicket now. Yeah, short of a length. He knew where the ball was going. He actually adjusted his fieldsman. The fieldsman's quick, very quick. Puts his foot out, but kicks it over the boundary. That's going to be 4 runs. Put his foot out, tried to stop it. We've seen it a couple of times in this tournament. Put your foot out sometimes, it's the wrong game. Soccer's the game. This is cricket. Puts his foot out, the ball hits his foot, and he kicked it over for 4 runs. He was running fast there too, and I suppose he did have to try and slide a foot out. But if he would have dove with his hands, he might have been able to cut that off. So there was a boundary, a much needed boundary for the Greenhills Giants. They want to get things moving again. Cox on strike. Louis, yes, bowls some good balls. He's going to be careful. He misses those if there's an appeal for LB. Showing that he can bowl stump to stump. That's a dot ball. Cox having a look around the field to see where there's any gaps. I think he'll be looking at going straight over the bowler's head. That'd be the smart move. You get the ball in the right spot. It's way down leg side, and that's going to run. And he's bowling fast enough. That's going to be 4 wides. That's a gift. If you're going to bowl a wide, you don't want to beat the keeper at that pace. It's always going to move down to the boundary. All men wide. Nothing directly behind the keeper. Cox sees it. Did he get it well enough? No. So they're going to try and run 2. Yep, they decided to take the second. So it's good running by the 2 Greenhills Giants batsmen, Travis Ling the captain, and David Cox. Greenhills Giants. Projected score now at the current run rate, 154. The projected score is only saying the best they could do if they got 10 and over is 161. They'll be hoping for more than that, but with the bowling that's been going on, they've been rolled back a little bit. 17 overs, Greenhills Giants, 3 for 131. So I think they're a few shy of what they would have liked, especially after the start they got. But with 3 overs to go, anything can happen. Westfield, they'll be hoping the anything can happen is going to be wickets. Greenhills Giants will be hoping the anything can happen will be boundaries, especially big boundaries, sixes. But they'll take fours. If they don't get fours and sixes, I think they need to start running those twos. Both batsmen will be tired out there. But runs at the moment on this big outfield and fast outfield is a requirement, because Westfield can bat. Devanini, none for 18 off 2. New bowler, moves in, Ling on strike. Ling sees it, gets it full. All he can do is push it out to deep extra cover. It's only going to be a single. Siddharth Devanini, none for 19 off 2.1. Moves into bowl. Cox sees it, 2 full. All he can do is dig it out. They've gone for 1. Cox wants 2. He's pretty quick when he comes back, and the misfield helps him. So 2 runs to David Cox. David Cox batting quite well at the moment. Travis Ling's 5 off 4 balls. David Cox 19 off 14. He accelerates later in his innings, but he hasn't got much time to do that, so he might have to adjust himself today and start going for a little bit sooner. On this just outside off stump, tries to back cut it down to third man, misses it. It's a dot ball. In these final overs, you don't want any dot balls at all. Bat to ball. Devanini moves into bowl. Cox got at sky. There's a third man down there, but I think he's too deep. Yes, he has to wait on it. Lets it bounce. Only a single. A little bit of luck there. Fieldsman was way too deep down at third man. Well, he's been positioned by his captain, I suppose, for any well-hit back cuts. Have a sling ready. Got it. Drove it to mid-off. Has he hit it well enough though? No, it looks like it's only going to be 1. Cox decides, yep, I want 2. Run him fast, Trav. I'll get you there for 2. That's 2 runs. So we're not hitting the boundaries. They'll be sucking them in out there. They'll be trying to take breaths as often as they can. Louis 2 for 25 off 3. Devanini none for 25 off 3. Sharma none for 36 off 3. He was a bit expensive early on. Greenhills Giants, 18 overs gone, 3 for 137. They'll be looking to push for past 150 plus, and Westfield will be trying to hold them less than 150. Burnham, none for 17 off 2, the bowler. So Greenhills Giants, they've really got to concentrate on putting bat to ball here. So the least they can do is get a single, even maybe run 2, and if they hit it well enough, a 4. But can't allow dot balls if they want to move their score along. And that is a dot ball. Swing and a miss. Cox won't be happy. He's got himself set out there. And Burnham, 2.1 overs, done for 17. It's bowling quite well. But Cox will be very disappointed in that. A little short, outside off stump. Swung across the line and missed. Try and hit the mid-wicket area. There's other areas to hit. That's better. He's gone straight over the bowler's head. That's much better. Fielder comes around. Can't cut it off. 4 runs. That's better. You don't have to go to mid-on. You don't have to go to mid-off. Go straight back over the bowler's head. They noticed yesterday that the Afghan Warriors, when they batted against Greenhills Giant, they were going straight over the bowler's head, and mid-on and mid-off couldn't cut it off. Whereas if they headed slightly towards long-on or long-off, the fieldsmen were retrieving the ball, stopping the boundary. That was an excellent shot. Cox walks back because 1 short. That'll probably be called the first one over the shoulder, so he can't bowl another bounces this over. Cox will know that. Will he be able to take advantage of it? He'll be thinking he's got to pitch this one up. Can he get forward on the front foot and punch him back over his head again? Still 2 balls in this over. Burnham can't bowl another bouncer. Pitches it up. Cox picked it, but he's picked the fieldsman out. Down fine. Backward a square. They're going to run 2 and they'll get the 2. Good running. Cox knew he's got to pitch it up, and he'll also know that he's got to pitch this ball up too. Once you bowl no ball and over, doesn't matter to which batsman it is, you're only allowed 1, you can't bowl another one. If you do, it's going to be called a no ball and a free hit. So he's got to be aware of that, the bowler. Cox goes forward towards mid-on. He hasn't hit it well enough. They're going to have to try and run 2, which they did. They've called it to the keeper. Cox gets back easy. Slight misfield, but it won't cost him another run. So after 19 overs, Greenhills Giants 3 for 145. David Cox 28 off 21. Travis Ling 7 off 5. They've still got the athlete out there, Jared Diplock, to come into bat. And even though it's the last over, Diplock can hit a long ball. They've also got Tommy Frost and Marty Blenman, 55 not out earlier on. He would like to get back in, but to get back in, you've got to lose a lot of wickets, and they didn't really need that when they haven't lost a lot of wickets. They're only 3 wickets down, but these batsmen really need to put bat to ball here and run hard if they don't. Down leg side, and just must have missed leg stump there. Umpire didn't call it a wide. Ling tried to clip it off his pads, couldn't quite get to it. So a dot ball in the last over. That's a big no-no. Near in again. Travis Ling beaten straight through him. Played across the line, middle stump. New batsman looks like being Tommy Frost. They've sent Tommy out. I don't know if he's got the bat that he uses sometimes in this LMS when there's only a couple of balls to go. He's got a mongoose. They're a shortened bat with a lot of power. He's been batting quite well, but whether he brings the mongoose out for a little bit extra power, I don't know. They've really reined this in well, the Westfield team. 4 for 145 with 3 balls to go. Giants may struggle to get to that 150. They would love 160 plus, but they're not going to be able to get that now, I don't think, unless it's a 12 hit off the last ball. But Tommy, we know, will run hard and he'll run fast, but whether Cox will be able to keep up with him, that'll be the thing. And there for 116 off 3.2. Still 3 balls to go. Tommy should realise you've got to put bat to ball. He normally steps away a little bit towards the leg side, and that's a danger. You can get bowled through the gate doing that. Moving the third man round. So he must be going to bowl outside off stump. That's what he does. That's bowled him. Straight through him. Westfield are jumping out of their skin here. 2 wickets and 2 balls. Bowlers on a hat-trick. The batsman, you would think, would have to try and hold himself back because of the hat-trick ball. But I'm sure the Giants captain Travis Ling will be telling the new batsman, don't worry about it, it's Jared Diplock, just go for it. If it creates a hat-trick, so be it, but if you can get onto it, it could be a boundary. So with 2 balls to go, Greenhills Giants after 19.3 overs, 545 runs. David Cox still out there on 28 off 21. Jared Diplock, new incoming batsman. Apurva Nair, 2 for 16 off 3.3. They've given themselves a chance here. At one stage it looked like it was going to be taken away from them, but they've reined it back in, and now that's a score they can actually chase. They would have been chasing in the high 180s. They wouldn't have been happy, and that would have been hard, even on this quick outfield. But chasing 145 at the moment, they've got some good batsmen. They'll be confident that they can actually chase this, and the Greenhills Giants are going to have to bowl really well to hold them back early on. Wickets will be the key in the next innings. The Giants will be thinking, with only 150 odd runs to play with, they'll need to get wickets early, and they'll need to bowl their best when they're bowling into the wind. Jared Diplock, the athlete they call him. He can do anything, but he's got a lot to do now. Sees it, pushes the hat-trick ball out. Diplock goes through for a quick single. Bowler thought he had him there, put it right on the stumps. He's hit a great line and length there. 2 for 17 off 3.4. Unless this is a no ball or wide, it'll be the last ball of the Greenhills Giants innings. David Cox would certainly love to hit a 4 at least to get him up to the 150 mark. Near in. David Cox rocks across, clips it down to fine leg. It's coming down straight towards me, and that's going to be 4 runs down to fine leg. That's the end of the over, and that's the end of the Greenhills Giants innings. 5 for 150. The ball's actually come straight to me, and I've got it in my hands along the ground. Greenhills Giants 20 overs, 5 for 150. David Cox 32 off 22. Jared Diplock 1 off 1, and the Westfield and the Columbian team are now chasing 151 runs to win in 20 overs. Decided not to have the sound on to be able to charge this a bit quicker, so we may lose 5 overs in commentary, but we're sorry about that. We need to charge this phone, otherwise the whole lot will drop out, but you'll still be able to watch the screen, but there just won't be any commentary, and I'm sure you won't miss that from me anyway. Okay, see you.